morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I don't know wherever you are watching from. So, Design Talk Live, it's back today in a very unusual time, but believe me, I can make those lives only when I can really make them because of course, working schedule or other things. First of all, how are you? How is life? Today it's really warm for being the end of October. We are almost at 25 degrees here in France, which is very unusual. I see we have already 5 people connected. That's very nice. Good morning, good afternoon to you. I don't know if you are new or if you already follow this channel. Just in case you don't follow yet this channel, I invite you, of course, to click and of course subscribe to this channel and follow the videos. This channel we do lots of tutorials about car design, basically very much on the basics of car drawing so that you can learn correctly or prepare yourself before entering to any design schools. And we have also design talks like today, during which we talk about lots of different things that are around the world of car design, designers, sometimes insights. And today we will talk about something that it's a little bit unusual for design and designers working for a car company, and that became something kind of normal because of the pandemic COVID period, which was very strong for about 2 years and forced a lot of us, but not only design, everybody working, to work from home, which is called, at least here in Europe, the smart working. Okay, so the title of today, it's smart working against office working. What is it better? There is anything that really it's giving us working from home something better than going to work every single day, waking up very early, get stuck into the traffic jam like everybody in the world, get to jobs, start right away with meetings and stuff? Or there is a better way to approach work, having a lot more of flexibility, in working, which means doing the smart working. Basically, you stay home, you are organized at home in order to perform really well. And you probably saw the image I put for this video, and that's my working station, my working position at home, that of course it's a little bit changed compared to 2 years ago when I was just doing simple videos, because now all this material, all those new tools in communication that I have are very good for me when I work from home, when I do meetings using both computers and stuff. But anyway, so just in case you are already somebody that is working from home, so in smart working, you can always leave your comments here, in live. I will answer to your questions if you have questions, or if you want to make any considerations. I'll be very happy, to read. Hey Sharma, hi, ciao, welcome back. So the thing is that it looks like it's simpler, easier, if you work at the post office, or if you work in a bank, or if you work in an office where you do economical stuff, or taxpayer stuff, or other type of jobs, like for example also selling and buying homes, real estate, that you with your computer from home you can still work very easily. You can contact your clients, you can discuss with them, whether in video, using all those new softwares like Google Meet, Zoom, and stuff, and keep contact with your client, and don't lose basically your business. Even if you are forced to be at home, you cannot go out, or like today, that you can go out. We are free to move, of course, with a lot of precaution about mask and stuff to protect ourselves, but still, it is much better. There's a real freedom, in my opinion, compared to a couple of years ago, and therefore you can still keep your business running, and you adapt yourself very easily. Same thing is with schools. Now, if you know about design schools a little bit, you see that there are lots of online design courses, even to prepare yourself to get to school before you enter school, which means that there are some teachers of this school that will use Zoom, for example, and you pay your fee, and you have your weekly meetings, okay, or about 2 hours each, during which you have like a normal class. You are at home as a student, okay, sketching, learning, and on the other side in video, like now between us, there is somebody like me that is explaining and is showing stuff. I also have my online course, and I use the same technology. As you know, I have a top camera that is here next to me, that I can, I can push forward and I can bring it to me when I switch camera and I make a demo, and therefore you become very, how can I say, very precise in terms of service when you want to show to your student how is he or she is supposed to do the best they can, the exercise on which we are working on. Okay, so this is basically the intro, okay, but the question is, now what's going on when a car designer that goes to work in his office, has his own beautiful, office place, his desk with the beautiful computers, all the colors, all the markers that you see here. He has everything, he has the paper, then he has the colleagues, then there is a coffee break, and then there are some presentations, some meetings. Or what about those, like me, design managers that have projects that are managed with design studios that are not here but are abroad? Before, I used to take a plane and go to China or go, I don't know, to Romania. In the past, I went to China to India several times. You know that I lived in China when I was there about 3 years ago, working for the Jinbei brand, for Renault, always. So basically, there are some activities that when you think we're gonna do all this in smart working, the first thing you have in your head is, but how can be? I mean, how can we do that? How can a designer not be present, okay, all day, every day, is supposed to be, and still be very, very reactive, producing good quality work, respecting the plannings, respecting the budgets, respecting everything, and be coordinated with his own director and within the team when there are some presentations. So this is the question that some people ask me, and I can give you my witness, how can I say, story, simply because I am working smart working like many of my colleagues. Okay, we have I would say not only us, a lot of other companies. We have a sort of flexibility, okay, that became a kind of the rule, okay, the new rule. Also because the COVID is not over yet, so there are days that we are at the office, days that we can work at home. And the most important thing is to understand how all this is affecting our activity. So the question at the end is, after those almost 2 years and a half of experience of working from home and then working in a flexible way, I am here like 3 days or 4 days a week, then for 2 days I am at work, I do all my presentations, I do all the meetings, which it's much better to be present in presence with other colleagues for some meetings, follow, for example, designers that are working on my projects, And there is a moment probably which is much better, the human touch, being there, and exchange what's better to do, what we should not do, and explain things with a little bit more time. When I am at work from home, of course I am connected. I have a schedule the whole day for the whole week, and there are some appointments, okay, some moments or some periods of the day in which in my schedule there are the video calls, okay, sometimes in video, sometimes just like phone calls, during which we can talk, and this is like meetings. Basically it's the same thing. Sometimes we are 20 people, there is a coordinator, of course, sometimes the most important person of that team that is working, for example, from engineering, and there we get exactly a sort of a meeting that is very, very similar when we are in presence. The advantage is not that you are not in a room with 20 people. That sometimes is confusing. Everybody wants to talk. Everybody is talking on top of each other. Sometimes, not every time, but can happen. And when you are in video call, there is a sort of non-said rule that wants you to wait your turn, and therefore, in my opinion, or according to my experience, it is much more fluid the way we rule the meeting. Everybody can express their opinion. Everybody can say, "Ciao Surat, Sufata, ciao Surat. Thank you for being here." And so, when we discovered that, a lot of people start saying, that the meetings we're gonna do next week is gonna be on Teams. It's not gonna be in presence. And this is a bit, I would say, a cultural change that companies start understanding and start also accepting. There's another advantage in working from home, in my opinion, is that sometimes at work, when we have a period of time between a meeting and another one, talking about design management, there is probably 1 hour or 1 hour and a half during which we don't really have a lot of activities to make. Therefore, we are turning around the office. Okay, that's fine because we are at the office, but at the same time, discovering the smart working, during that hour, maybe you can do something else. And therefore, your life experience working according to your life expectations in your private life, they start going to really well. Which means, for example, I give you a very stupid example. Sometimes, for some people, they go and buy groceries when they go out of work. If they go out of work from the office around 6:30, they really have only 1 hour to reach the big shopping center. Getting there are a lot of people because everybody's coming out the office at the same time, so you have a little bit of traffic jam. You get in, and with your caddy there are a lot of people. Instead, in this new scenario, when it's 12 o'clock that everybody's going to eat, you take your car, you go to the next door store, and you take your time to select what you want to buy. There are not too many people, and everything is much more, I would say, human, much more normal. And most of all, the stress level that is accompanying us during the whole day, it goes very, very low. So when the stress level goes low, your performance is higher because you are not stressed. And I can see that, we can see that the work, for example, of some designers that some days are from work, the work is perfect. It's very nice because they are quiet at home. Maybe they put their own music without, disturbing anybody in the office. If you don't have your headcuff, your ear pods, you cannot put the music. There will be always somebody saying, "Oh, come on, please lower the volume," and that can create some frustration. At home, you can. Nobody's gonna tell you anything. And besides, you really put the music you like. And believe me, the music helps a lot to perform, to feel good, Then you want to make a coffee, you have your perfect coffee maker, and you just make your coffee. Take a break of 10, 15 minutes, and it's gonna work really well. Then you see that there is an email arriving, then you go and you answer to the email. If you have to make a document to answer that email or call somebody, you have the time to well organize that. Let me read a comment. Sorry for disturbing, but can you please tell me how to get scholarship in Santa College? If yes, then how? Sharma, scholarship, I know that it's possible, but how? To be honest, I'm not a student in Art Center since 4 years. So I would say that you have to contact the Art Center website. You will find, especially for foreign students, the foreign office contact. And there you can ask all your questions. You write an email, don't worry, and you will see that they will be very, very happy to answer you. But yes, I know that there is an opportunity to get a sort of a scholarship, but of course you will get that scholarship according to your family economical situation, but mostly the most important thing is about how high is your talent. Let not forget, that's very, very important. The talent, it's extremely important. So coming back to our question, is it better smart working than office work, or is it better office work and forget the smart working? I think that the truth is in between. I don't want to be political in my answer, but it is true. If you ask me, Luciano, what do you enjoy the most? I would say that some days I really enjoy to be here at home, like now, okay? Imagine that on the other side, it's not you, but my colleagues. I'm just talking to them. We are talking in video. Sometimes we laugh, but we take decisions, we move on, and then I'm very happy. I go outside, I have a garden, and then I can smoke my cigar without disturbing anybody. I know that we should not smoke, so don't smoke. But anyway, according to my habits, I can do things that at work I can't do. A cigar lasts 20 minutes, it's not like a cigarette. So even if I smoke a cigarette at the office, you have to go out, it's kind of far from your office. You will not be with your colleagues, you will be with other people that probably you don't know. I don't know. Then what is another advantage? Another advantage, for me Italian is very important, is that I don't have to eat every single day at restaurants where of course it's not the best food in the world. So for my health, it's not exactly the best option. Or in the cafeteria of my company. We have several cafeterias. The service is perfect, but believe me, it is much, much better that here in 20 minutes, during my lunch break, I cook for myself. I eat the fruit I like. If I want to, if I want to cook something different today, I just open my frigo and I select what I want and I start cooking, and I enjoy doing that. I have the time to listen to the news and see what's going on in the world. And then, of course, around 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon, I am again connected. In reality, I am always connected because I always have my telephone, which is a smartphone, of course, like everybody, always with me. If there is an email and the email is really urgent, even if I'm eating, I wake up and I go to this desk and I go to the company portable computer, and I answer to that mail because it is important, and that's part of the responsibility. You have to be responsible, wise. The thing is that we should never take advantage of certain situations unless it goes against us, of course. So there is a balance and advantages during the days I'm here that we cannot deny. It's much better. But at the same time, when I am at work, I'm very happy to go. So this is a good thing. I am happy to do it. And at the same time, I have a chance really to look in the eyes to my colleagues, to explain things that for me it's very important, very urgent. I can participate to important, management meetings, and that it's much better to be present. There is a presentation, I'll be there. If I have to make a presentation, I will be there. And when you look at the performance during a year, you will see that on your projects, the performance, it's very correct. I don't want to say the best of the class because perfection does not exist, but compared to when I was all the time at work, there's no difference. At least for me, there's no difference. Now, there are people, and that's of course, they have all the right to do it, they want to be at work, and they go every single day. And I think it's psychological also, it's also cultural, the fact that they cannot switch from one mode to another mode, that in my opinion it's much more modern. I think that the future it's gonna be much more about a smart working approach than going every single day in the same place for years. So I think that those people are there, but believe me, I know few of them, they are not performing better than those that use the mix, like me, the mixed method of working. So it's not written on paper, on the marble, that because we go to work every single day, our performance is going to be much better. Then there are other people who go because they say, no, I'm alone, I cannot stay at home 2 hours, I go crazy. I understand them. In that case, they have to go to the office because to be in company, to be surrounded by colleagues, have a nice chat, go eat all together in the cafeteria. Those are some habits that for some people are very important. And it's very important that psychologically everybody finds their own spot, so that, as I said before, the stress level, it's always low and it's not very sad. There are some people, for example, I know that they prefer to go to the office because they feel that if they stay at home working, they are misjudged by the hierarchy, by their boss or other people around. And so they feel that thing not nice. They don't feel nice. They don't feel tranquil. And therefore their stress goes up. Then in that case, they must go to work. Let me see what Sharma just wrote. So it's possible to work as a designer company from home. What if someone is in another country? Yes, Sharma. Now we'll talk about what's happening when we are working from home with a company or a design studio that is very far, because that's exactly what I did for a year. I will tell you. Hello, I'm Sultan. Ciao, Sultan. I'm 30 years old, and my question is, if I got a job as a junior car designer, get work in the field, can I get master without a bachelor? No. You need a bachelor. First of all, to get a master, you need a bachelor in engineering, in industrial design, in car design, of course it's advisable, or in any other university, because that bachelor level gives you the opportunity to go to master. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing, Sultan, be very careful with your age, because 30 years old in the car design business, it's an old age. I'm sorry, I'm not saying you're old. Huh? I'm not saying that. But 30 years old, if you add 1 or 2 years of master, because as I understand, you are not in industrial design, you are not in car design, therefore your level of sketching and ideation must reach a very, very high level. This means that you need 2 years of master, because the first year will be sketching, exercising, warm up, and learning how to put together a project, improving your skills, which are the most important thing when we start any design education. Okay, we don't talk with words, we talk with our work, with our design, with our sketches, with our renderings, with our illustrations. Therefore, you will be 32, and then you will lose some times before probably somebody will ask you to go at work or for an interview. Therefore, you will be 32, 33 years old. The age average of people that we hire in car design out of school, it's between 22 years old, 25 years old, maybe 27. Okay, so ciao Adam. So please consider all this, okay, before you launch yourself into activities thinking that to become a car designer is gonna be easy simply because you have the title, the school title. It's not easy, not at all. Hi Adele, how are you? Welcome back. Surprised about my live this time. As I said at the beginning, I can do those lives, but not anymore in a very, in a very regular way as I did during the beginning of the year or last year, because the working schedule, even if I work from home, it's different. I have several meetings that are late during the day, and therefore I cannot dedicate myself to the lives on YouTube. Okay, now coming back to our discussion, what's happening when we work with somebody that are very far? So I had 2 projects lately that were done with a broad design studio that of course belonged to the global company I work for. One was in China, and this lasts for a year, and then this 2 years ago, and for 1 year I've been working with Brazil, with my amigos brasileiro. Okay, and the work was perfect because we were of course constantly in live. We were doing lots of design sketching reviews live. They share on their computer the sketches, okay, and we can see, I have a big screen here, I can see exactly what they were doing, okay, and my boss also, everybody, we were all connected, and we had those weekly reviews to make sure that they could move on. Sorry guys, that they could move on, okay, and update their ideation, update their sketches, sometimes for technical reasons. And when I had my technical reasons, feedbacks, and they had to change their alias model, the CAD model, virtual model, then I used to prepare some really well done documents on images so that they could understand very, very easily how they're supposed to make the changes and about how many millimeters or centimeters. Because when we get to that level, we gotta be precise. And when we are far, I cannot be, of course, next to the guy that is working on alias modeling. So, in order to make sure that that person, that colleague, can really understand really well what I'm talking about, I have to generate a document that will explain very clearly. What does it mean? I have a picture of, the front end or a detail, and then I can sketch sections. I put that line in red. I add some written comments. I say move this up of 3 millimeters. check the technical section of the structure under the hood or under the side fender. Here you are inside a little bit too much. So when we look, at all this, we discover that because of the way we are working, I don't need to spend, the company doesn't need to spend 20,000 euros to send me there a full week in hotel on the other side of the world. I have the stress of basically not sleeping, because if you go to Brazil or you go to China, the first 4 nights, I can assure you don't sleep. But then in the morning at 7, you have the driver, the company driver that is waiting for you at the hotel to take you to the office, and then you work the whole day. So you get at 3 o'clock in the afternoon that the only thing you would like to do is to sleep. You can't. And then in the evening you have the colleagues, of course, that want to take you to a good restaurant, have a nice evening all together after a full day of work. So it's normal, it's nice, it's beautiful. But in this case, you can keep the stress very normal. You save money. The company saves, in my opinion, quite a lot of money, because it's not only me that is traveling. There are a lot of people that have projects, in different type of countries. This means that if you add the cost of transportation and living on that place for a couple days or 6 days or 10 days, and you reduce that because you can work from home and do the same job, and everybody at the end is happy and the job comes out right, then you can do it. So Sharma, this is the way we do. That's the way I do. And to be honest, at the beginning you always feel that, oh my god, it's not gonna work. Now my boss is gonna get mad at me. But in reality, little by little, you realize how you can manage that. For example, I tell you one thing that is very, very nice, nice anecdote. It's like when I was working with China, I could not be there during the presentation. And we had a model that had to be presented. But the people from France could not travel to China because to go to China was impossible during the COVID. So what did I do? What did we do? Well, I told my Chinese assistant to take a smartphone live on the app used by the companies during that meeting, and being live just like if she was a YouTuber with a smartphone making a live video. And I was talking to her because she had her AirPods, and I was telling her, please, let's check better that surface of the model on the fender, show me the 3/4 front, and so she was going around, the people were talking, we could hear everything. When we talked, they had a speaker in their hands, one of those Bluetooth speaker that was connected to the main computer, and so they could listen to us from France, and they could answer. We would listen to them live, and we could see live the model from far, from close, from the side perspective, and so in a way it was just like if we were there, and it worked. It worked so well that we repeat this 4 times during the 4 presentations we had after that day. And that gave us the opportunity to take decisions, to move on with the projects. And the nice thing, I made a video. I was filming from Zoom, and I made a video for the big bosses to tell them, look, we did this way. We believe that it worked quite well. We want to show you this because it might be for you an opportunity also for other colleagues that are in the same situation, probably to use the same technique, communication technique. So you have to a little bit use your creativity to reinvent a way of communicating, because you are sitting here and you are working on a presentation that is in China, and it's completely on the other side of the world. So, Sham, I don't know if I answered to your question, but that's at least the way we did. And I have to tell you that it was very nice. It was enjoyable. And it was like a little game, but we were doing serious stuff. So serious that then the project went into production. It was correct, according to what we had to do and what we decided to do. So then, of course, I had other meetings with engineers, because you have to follow the pre-production part, step before a car goes into production. And that part is very important, because you have to make sure that they respect, everything, that the parts that are made as a prototypes, they are correct in geometry, that they are correct with the grains, the texture, the textile for the seat, the way the light signature in the real part, in the real piece, real front light, it's working. That is very, very close to our model, that of course at that time was not really feasible. So you have to follow suppliers, and you do the same thing with the same technique. So coming back to what I said at the beginning, what's the trade-off between smart working and office work? Is there a loss, of performance, which would be very severe, would be very bad for the company, for the system would be very bad? Not really. In most of the cases, I have to say that the performance has been as good as before. For some people, this is one thing important. For some people, it is much, much better to be in the office, because of the way they are, their education, their past, the way they enjoy being in the office rather than being at home. And for some other people, this is not a stupid comment, it's very important, very serious. For some other people, it's very important to be at the office. Why? Because if they have small kids, 1 year old, 2 years old, or few years old, because they are a young couple, it's difficult to work from home. Especially if your home is not very big. If you're in a 3-bed apartment, with a little balcony, or like in France, there are lots of apartments that they don't have balconies. They just have windows. So, in that case, it might be really difficult to work from home. And so, those people, of course, they were waiting, hoping to go back to the office as much as they could, to find the right concentration and work correctly, work well. So, the smart working, I would say it works if it's okay with your lifestyle and your life private situation, your life, your culture, the way you are in your head. I am somebody that living alone, it's not a bad thing. I have a colleague that say, I don't know how you do, I could never live alone. It's so many years I live alone, for me it's fine, I never get annoyed. Other people, being alone, they get annoyed very fast, very quickly. So in that case, those people cannot be at home. That would be frustrating for them. And therefore, for them, it's much better to say, bye bye wife, I take my car, I go to the office, or they just go to the office. And that's normal, that's correct, that's what they should do. I had to say that during this period, some of the suppliers that make models here, on my project, are not far from where I live. So the good thing is that I could take the car very easily and just go to visit them, just if I were driving from the office. So this new system, did not force me not to follow the models, not at all. I used to go over there. Of course, I had my mask. I was very careful. I always had my alcohol in the hands to wash my hands, clean up, be always very antibacterial mode. But at the same time, I was tranquil, I was confident. I went to the company. There we were keeping the social distance, the 2 meters away from us. There were windows open, and we could check the model and criticize, improve the models, make some exercises in three-dimensional, so that we would finish the meeting and everybody were satisfied. Of course, today I go to the same suppliers and it's much easier because we don't have all those restrictions anymore, because COVID, it's really low now, and this since almost a year, and this is very good. So we are entering in a new stage, I would say, a new phase of our life, of our today's life, during which it is much easier to have those relationships between people. And also when I go to the office, the mask, it's not anymore a mask. You can be without a mask. I bring it with me, but only when I have a meeting and we are in a small room, In that case, I keep it. Unless in the office, when I talk with my colleagues, I know that everything is fine. I don't wear it anymore, and I'm quite happy to have those days that I am there with them to share, to have good time with them. But at the same time, in the afternoon, if at 4 o'clock I have a meeting on Teams, after lunch, after I check a few things, I take the car, I go home, and I continue to work from home. So you see, it is a mix. It is a real mixed thing that I try to apply, and so good, so far so good. I have to say that it works pretty well. Do you have questions? Now it's almost 1 hour that I'm talking. Do you have a question? I go and take some water, just in case you want to reward me, offering me a beer or a pizza. Don't forget, you have the little buttons to thank, or the super chat or whatever. You can hit, you can offer me a beer. Okay, thank you very much. Anyway, totally we had 50 people, so this is very nice. I appreciate. I thank you very much. I give you rendezvous to the next live that I will prepare soon. I cannot tell you when, but maybe, who knows, maybe it could be Monday or Tuesday, because here it's a vacation. And Tuesday, what can I do Tuesday? Yeah, maybe Tuesday I can do another live, okay? All right? So stay tuned, because maybe Tuesday I'll be here again, okay? All right, thank you very much. Now I am ready with the video, the musical video of my guitar for the end. Ciao, thank you very much. Have a good weekend. There is the Formula 1 Grand Prix. Don't forget, Grande Alonso. He was great a week ago. Great. Ciao.